Hello and welcome. I am the organizer advisor, your organizational advocate to help you enhance your happiness and transform your life. Oh, it's a wonderfully relaxing Sundays. Sundays are days to kind of slow down, rest, relax, rejuvenate, worship, practice whatever faith you practice. And it's just a day for slowing life down. We need that day to just kind of allow our bodies to rest, our minds to become a little more calm, and to give us a really positive outlook for beginning the new week. Speaking of beginning the new week, we do have some Sunday prep steps that we use, and this helps us set ourselves up for success in the new week. So what I traditionally do is I clean my purse, I plan my wardrobe and my menu for the week. That way I know I have everything planned out and there's no dinner time stress or the getting dressed stressed. I have everything planned. I also put clean sheets on the bed, declutter the bedside table, maybe a little vase of fresh flowers, a little linen spray, something to uplift and give you a restful night's sleep. Also, I like to get my vitamins and supplements and all my exercise equipment ready for the week. So if you pack a gym bag, get your water bottles clean, get your vitamins and supplements already in your little containers so that you don't have to open all of those bottles. And you can check out my video on vitamins and supplements and give you some tips on doing that. I plan my grab and go binder. That is a strategy that I use and we'll talk about in a later video, or you can check out my YouTube channel for grab and go binder under the documents playlist. And then I also clean my makeup and hair brushes. So this just gives me a fresh start for the week. Now, our TOGA for today, as promised, is our craft supplies. Now, I use Sundays as kind of my spiritual creative day. So this is a worship spiritual day to kind of uplift your spirit, your soul, and do something that makes your soul sing. So if you are an artist or a crafter, today we're going to get all of those items organized. And the first step that we always do when we're organizing some of our items by theme, what I call thematic organizing, is we go gather. So go gather your craft supplies, paints, knitting, sewing, woodworking, beadwork, paper crafts, scrapbooking, whatever craft that you do, or multiple crafts, because I have all kinds of crafting stuff. You want to go gather. So get your bin, basket, or box and go gather. Now, if you have too many, then you may want to just do them a little at a time. So don't overwhelm yourself, but go gather. And then the next step is we're going to group them. So you want to group them by paintings, fabrics, like these are ribbons, any kind of your paper crafts, stamping, your brushes, your scissors, all of your craft items you want to group. So if you have painting items, put all of the painting items in one dedicated box, bin, or basket. If you have a lot of crafting items, like I have a lot of rubber stamps, you're going to want to create a system in order to house these so that you can find them when you need them, but also you can transport them in order to move them around to your crafting area. But you also want to be able to keep them nice and neat and tidy. Otherwise, they're going to just get all jumbled up. It's going to create chaos, and we know psychologically we avoid chaos. So we want to have a cohesive, orderly system of devices in order to store our craft items. Now, you can use whatever devices that you choose. You could use even makeup organizers. You can use these little boxes, these little fabric boxes. You can use cardboard boxes. You can use plastic bins, whatever works for you, but you want to be able to see your items. That's the most important part, because if you have to dig for them, you're not going to use them. And if it's too much work to get them out, to be able to use them, you're not going to use them, so you're not going to craft. Creating something makes us feel very positive. It puts us in a really positive energy. It makes us feel good. It's uplifting. But if we don't use them, we lose that opportunity to do something that makes our soul sing. So we want to create a dynamic system that is functional, it's orderly, it's easy to access, and then you can find what you want when you want them, and then begin the creation. So just different types of little organizers like these. I have a whole set of these. I actually have a little label that I put on. It's called crafts. It goes right here. But I have, you know, just all my rubber stamping things, all my ink pads and sponges and all of my rubber stamping things. I even have a little dish for my water if I need to paint something. But this is all of my rubber stamping stamp pads. So before you start putting things back in their dedicated space, you're going to want to go through. That's step 3. Gather, group, go through. So go through and see if there's any product that you have, item that you have that is not functional. A dried up ink pad is not going to function. So you want to start kind of purging what is not going to work or is no longer useful. So you may want to get a little rubbish bin, and as you go through and see what you have, you're going to want to purge what is no longer going to be usable. So as you go through, another thing to keep in mind is it gives you kind of a mental inventory of what you have, so that you know what you need if you're going to initiate a new craft, or you already have a mental inventory of what you have on hand, so that you can create something during your your crafting sessions. So you want to find some little devices to be able to create and store your craft items. Now for your paints and everything, you want to go through, make sure they're still liquid enough to use. Make sure that there's your paints are not lumpy or unusable, because at that point they're just not they're not going to function. They're just clutter. Remember, if it's not helping, if it's not enhancing our life, it's clutter. That's it. So use kind of your visceral reaction. The way I use a process of decluttering, and I'll do a whole video on this, is I use my visceral reaction, my energy. I pick up an item and I absolutely, how does my body respond to this? If it's like, it's gone. It's just simply gone. Don't make excuses and don't justify. You just, if your visceral reaction, if your energy kind of feels repelled instead of embracing the energy of that item, then it's a goner. That's just as simple as it gets. There's no point in having things in your life that create a negative visceral reaction, because that will accumulate and it diminishes your energy. So when you go through your house, go through all of your items, when you physically engage with that item, if your reaction is repelled and it's not embracing, it's a goner. So another little, you want to have something where you can store like paintbrushes, scissors, pencils, marking pens, paint pens, whatever your crafting items require. You want to have, some sort of little tray device, something so that you can get to them. I don't like to store a lot of my pencils and brushes in lay down bins, such as this, because I'm going to have to scramble through them to find the one I want. This way I can just look, I see the brush tip I need, and I can pull it out. I don't have to take all the brushes out to find one. This gives me the opportunity for some of my paper crafts. I can look at the type of tip that I need. For my stipple brushes, I can see the stipple brush that I need. For my art pencils, I can look for my scissors. I can look at the type of scissors that I need for my paper crafts. but this just gives me a really easy way to see what I need when I need it. Again, you want to go through each item, like this is some glass paint, and I just want to check. I'm just going to push it down, and yeah, it still works. So that's a keeper because I do use these. But if you're not going to use it, like here's a chalk marker, if you're not going to use it and you know you're not going to use it, then don't justify keeping it. Your life is too busy and you have too many items to manage to have to justify keeping an item. You can simply say yes or no. And follow the energy. Energy doesn't lie. If your energy is like no, then it's a no. If your energy is like, oh, I like that, then I like that, it's a keeper. So that's the simplified decluttering process. Use your energy, feel how you respond, because you're going to respond the exact same way every single time you interact with that item. Energy doesn't lie. Your body's telling you it's not the right energy for you, so poof, it's gone. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about some of the ways that we can, any kind of small paints or anything you may want to store in a zip top bag. These are my inks for my calligraphy. Yes, I do a lot of crafts. But I don't want this all over because they're going to stain. So these don't like stay up because they're small bottles, so I keep them in a zip top bag. So you may want to consider that. Any of your little, look, here's a little gold flake. Have some little boxes. This could store my calligraphy tips, but I want to keep them together and I want to keep those boxes closed. So doesn't that look kind of inviting? It's cute, it's inviting, and it's purposeful. So uplift when you can. Here's all my little ribbons for my paper crafts. These I can just pull when I need some. I can just cut them off, and that way they're not like all tangled up, because if they're tangled in a drawer and I have to unknot them, I'm not going to use them. Then all of your paints, you can coordinate these by colors if you want, organize them by color. So after you group, you may want to do some more subgroups such as color, style, length, whatever works for your items. I mean, I can go on forever just doing the minutia. You know, let's take all our paints out and let me show you how to organize them. But quite honestly, you know, you're very aware of what you have and how you need it to function for you. That's all individualized. And so you just group them to when they feel good. And when it feels good and it looks attractive and it looks inviting, you're on it. Okay? So like here's my rubber stamps. Now I have a lot. And what I want to do is I want to be able to take them and I want to be able to transport them and lift them out. So they're all in these little utensil trays. And these are, you know, categorized by kind of seasonal rubber stamps. So like I'll have a holiday one, I'll have a baby shower one, I may have a wedding one, I may have like a gardening group. So go through and group your items and categorize them how it works for you. And then what you want to do is make sure that they're clean and usable and secure, because these, if I were to tip this over, I'm going to have a mess to pick up. So I like to mitigate messes by kind of getting a storage device and then securing it. So of course, you know me and my zip top bags. These are like a 2-gallon zip top or 3-gallon zip top. And then that way, even if I tip it over, they're going to go right back in, kind of. So here's another type, and these are, let's see, these are all my gardening ones. So these are going to have my little insects, my little plant ones, but that way I can just pull these out and then I have the ones I need by theme. Now I have about 6 of these trays, so each tray is a different theme. So now I have all of my stamping supplies, all of my painting supplies, all of my craft supplies are nice and neat. Now, once you get everything kind of grouped and categorized so that it feels good to you, your energy feels good, I always go by the level of energy of interaction. If it doesn't feel engaging, tweak it some more. You know, try another system, try another kind of storage device, because once you get the system that works for you, then you're going to engage more. If you throw all those rubber stamps into a bin like this, you're not going to use them, because you're going to spend more time looking for the stamp you want instead of actually engaging in the craft time. This way, I can look at the stamp I want, I can zip it open, grab the stamp out, and then I don't have this huge cluttered mess where I've dumped everything out to try and find something. Try and make your storage devices energetic, effective, inviting, engaging, because you are more likely to utilize those items if you're not having to do a whole lot of work to be able to find what you want. So, you know, whatever storage devices work for you, be creative. I mean, I know people that use toilet paper rolls. You can use little gift boxes. You can use plastic boxes. You can use utensil trays. You can use makeup organizers. Whatever works for you. Think outside the box a little bit. Find a system based upon the type of craft supplies that you have. If you have like a lot of fabric, you may want to organize those by colors. You can put them in clear see-through bins so that you can see them, and then put them on a shelving unit. Your threads and things need to be in an area where you can see them. So I would use a clear plastic bin with a lid so that they're, you know, nice and secure, and that you can take the lid off and find the color that you want. So these are just suggestions for you, but we have 11 Sundays before December 1st, and that is the culminating day of our 90-day transformation, total life transformation process. And this gives us 11 Sundays, or, you know, other days during the week, but Sundays are my craft days. This 11 Sundays to make some gifts for the holidays, to make decorations for the holidays, to finish up some craft projects that have been kind of lingering for years. I had a quilt I worked on for an awfully long time. But by the end of the year, if you can set a goal and set an intention to complete whatever craft projects that you have started right now, or that are, you know, just have been lingering a while in your energetic space, you're going to be so uplifted at the end of the year when you can finally kind of let that energy go. It's like you get that sense of completion, and then come the new year, you can start off with a new project, and it's just so invigorating to start a new project. But if you have lingering projects, you might want to finish those first, get them done for the holidays. If you make gifts, we have plenty of time to make, you know, a substantial number of gifts for our friends and loved ones before the holiday season arrives. And it gives us a great opportunity to use our Sundays to kind of wind down, create. When we are in our creative energy, we are in our joyful self. And that is a great energy to start your week. So craft supplies are our toga for today. Okay, I hope you have a restful day. I hope you enjoy. Put on some soft music, you know, fix a pot of tea or get some iced tea, and, you know, light some candles, get your kids involved, or just take some me time and go up in your craft space. Oh, forgot to mention, you need to create an inviting craft space. So if you have like a little table like this, or you have a big table where you do crafting, make sure that space is clutter-free. Clutter-free, I mean clean surface space. Make sure you have good lighting in your craft room, bright white light, lots of lighting, because that's going to uplift you, and it's going to make it easier for you to see the true colors and really engage in your craft items. Also, you want a space where you have your items that are stored are easily accessible. So shelving units, any kind of storage devices, clear storage devices, so that you can see. So remember, when we're organizing and grouping and storing our items, we want to be able to have easy access, which means if you're going to have to stack 4 bins on top of each other, you're not going to do that much work to get to that bottom bin to use those items. You're just not going to. It's too much work. So you avoid. You want to have it open, easy to grab, easy to be able to see what you have, that you can find what you need when you need it, and you want it accessible. In order to use the items we have to enhance our life, that's why we bought them. We need them to be accessible. And accessible there needs to be some sort of space around them to be able to access them. Now, if you're going to stack bins, stack stuff you don't use often. But if you're going to use something a lot like I do, I want bins where I can just reach in and grab my paint and my brushes and my ribbons. I don't want to have to open 3 or 4 bins to find them, and I don't want to have to unstack 3 or 4 bins to get to them. So that's just what I have found to be effective. And you also want to be able to have a way of closing off, because this is a lot of visual clutter. So if you have like a storage rack in a closet, or in my case, I have a huge armoire, and in that armoire, I have all of my crafting items. I can close the drawers, close the doors, and then I don't have to see all of this. And that way you can use that, like I have my crafting area in my office. So I don't have to see all the craft items when I'm up working in my office. That way it's not visually overwhelming. Okay, I'm kind of getting a little rambly here. So, okay, so make sure you take your vitamins, eat clean, hydrate, get some rest, meditate, calm your life down. This is a slow Sunday kind of beat, so, just relax, rejuvenate, restore, reinvigorate yourself. Do your prep steps so that you have set yourself up for a successful week, and I will see you for our marvelous Monday tomorrow. Until then, love ya.